I've not done this video as a chinwag for a very, very simple reason. I'm going to start a new series. I say a series, it might just be a video of John's pinball collection, basically. But hopefully, some more of you kind, lovely people, as you already have, will invite me round to play your pinball machines, and I can video them. So if you are watching this as you normally would on a chinwag podcast, you might want to stop now and actually switch to the video format, because we're going to show you a lot of machines. The idea of this series, which I haven't even named yet, is going to be just to look at people's home collections, what they've got and what they're playing. But before we have a look at John's collection, John, a lot of you may know him as, you are J-Mac on the forum, aren't you?
J-Mac, yep. So that's my initials, basically.
There you go. So John's here. Well, I say John's here, John's always here. I'm here, that's the bloody point.
True, yeah.
You've obviously got magnificent machines.
Thank you. So I suppose a bit similar to some other people, I was more into arcades in the 90s. Our local newsagents, school bus stop, had arcades in the back. It was one of these sort of shops where newsagents at the front, then you walk through a section of VHS rentals into another room where there was maybe 6 arcades and always one pinball machine. The owner of the shop was into pinball. So generally, while you're waiting for Street Fighter 2 or whatever it would be, Mortal Kombat, you played a game of pinball.
What was it? Do you remember?
I don't. I've tried racking my brain. It was an old sort of alphanumeric. I don't remember what it was. I wasn't massively into it, if I'm honest. Fast forward to university, and so that would be sort of mid to late 90s. There was always a pinball in our JCR, the junior common room. At least one, actually. There was 2 in it quite a lot of the time. And we used to play almost. We'd go down there for a drink every night and have a few games. Then we actually bought a machine when we lived in Sheffield from a laundrette.
What do you mean we? Who's we?
So I lived in a house of 4 other guys, 2 girls, and me and the other 4 guys just one day said, well, we were quite competitive. We used to play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater
the game, yeah.
on the Dreamcast. We used to play Worms, and I think it wasn't FIFA, it was, I think it was ISS, it was called, football. But we were all a bit competitive, and we had league tables for everything. And we used to go across the road to the laundrette and play, it was a Maverick machine.
Okay.
And one day, I don't even remember who it was, someone came home and was like, there's a for sale sign on Maverick, should we buy it? And we did, and I think it cost us 25 quid each. So we played that all year, and it became part of the league table of all the different things we did. Funny thing is, at the end of 2 years, when we were leaving university, moving out, we actually played cards where the loser had to take it home. No one wanted
the loser?
The loser had to take it home. No one wanted to take this big, massive, heavy machine home. And I've actually found out since, nobody took it home. We actually just left it in the house for the next group to move in with. So that was my first sort of experience of playing pinball a lot, I suppose, was university. Fast forward again to 2014 on honeymoon, where we rented a cabin up in the Georgia mountains, and that had a pinball in it as well. A T2. And I played it a lot for a few days. And
on your honeymoon?
Yeah, well, it was in the cabin.
Sure.
It wasn't really intentional.
Fair game, yeah.
But it made me sort of think, oh, I remember you can have these at home. And of course, I'm at a different stage of life then, and I can afford a bit more. And I said to my wife, I'm going to buy one of these. And she's like, well, crack on, do whatever you want, sort of thing. So I didn't buy one straight away. My games room back then had a pool table, arcades, a couple of arcades. And I just thought, well, I'll wait till we move and then I'll jump in. So my first pinball back in 2017, I think, maybe 2018, 17, 18, was a Hobbit from Phil.
Okay.
I was very cautious about the old thing of dropping, meet someone on the internet, on the forum, and backs them 5, 6, 7,000 pounds.
So you feel
Phil from Pinball Heaven.
okay.
So I bought a new inbox as my first.
Well, that's
game.
a purchase. That's not really sending money out into
yeah,
the
but
abyss,
I was on the forum already,
Yeah.
and other stuff was interesting me. But I couldn't quite get to grips with. I don't know anybody sending this money. My wife in my ear saying you're absolutely crazy. You know, you don't know these people. But even buying from Pinball Heaven, it was a different experience in that you send Phil money and the game will be here in 5 or 6 months.
Absolutely, sure.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know when it's coming.
Yeah.
Sometime it will come. And I went very quickly from 1 game to 3 to 5. I had sort of 10 before I knew it. I've had a huge turnover of machines. I've probably had 60 or 70 machines here, turnover. I've had some things twice. I've had Twilight Zone 3 times. So
sure. You had the same machine twice with Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, that Lord of the Rings. I think I sold it. It went to Martin Yap. He sold it to you.
Yeah.
And then I bought it back off you. So, Twilight Zone, although I've had it 3 times, I've always had a Twilight Zone. It's just I've upgraded to better ones. So, yeah, I think there's 13 set up in here now, and some tombstoned. But the good news is I've got planning permission on the horizon to extend out the back there and probably be able to have 20 set up. So, yeah, it's a crazy hobby. You know.
I'm wondering, just listening to your story there, I'm wondering if, bearing in mind that you've had 70 odd pins through this house, if your wife doesn't now think, hold on a second, that honeymoon where you turn out, it's a complete accident that the pinball machine's there, you know.
I can honestly say I don't know. Maybe it was when I was looking. I think we were looking together, and we stayed we did like a road trip. So we did like Texas, we did Tennessee, Memphis, Nashville, Atlanta, Blue Ridge Mountains, Florida. So maybe I can't honestly say I definitely picked it because it had a pinball machine, but there probably was something.
If I was there, I'd be suspicious. I've got to be honest.
Well, yeah, she probably is.
In fact, I am suspicious. I'm not even. We're going to go around and have a little look at your machines, and because this is really it. It's about an opportunity to give everybody the chance to see, because we're all nosy, aren't we, basically? And it's the opportunity to see somebody else's pinball collection. Before we go and walk around them, what's nailed to the floor? What's not going anywhere?
Basically the Super Mint Bally Williams stuff. I've been right across the board. So I started off with I've got a Hobbit, and then I got a Data East Tales from the Crypt. I had a Sega Star Wars trilogy, an Attack from Mars, and Medieval Madness. I think they were the first 5 that came in relatively quickly as well. Within sort of 6 or 8 weeks, they came in. I then met Chris Brim. I know you've interviewed.
Podcast 10?
Yeah.
Chinwag number 10, I think. I might be wrong.
And then very similar to Colin, who mentioned Chris as well. Chris is my go-to guy. When I want something, I let him know I'm after it, and he'll keep an eye out. Actually, the first time me and Chris interacted was on the forum. It didn't go very well. Chris was selling a whole number of games, and I think I was interested in a Walking Dead and that Lord of the Rings, actually, that one. And I chucked him a bid, and being a bit green, I suppose, to the whole the forum, it was probably a cheeky bid, shall we say? And Chris, Chris can be quite to the point, and on no uncertain terms, that's not happening. But we did get to a deal. So I drove up a few days later to pick it up. But you could just sort of tell it was in his head that this guy was trying to get it for nothing and everything else. However, we went for breakfast because I'd driven up so it's like 3.5 hour drive. and instantly we got on. And that's probably 3 and a bit years ago. And since that, we've become great friends outside pinball. We chat a few times a week, not necessarily about pinball, about that's Game of Thrones.
It is Game of Thrones, isn't it? Yes, sir. Yeah.
It's midnight.
Yeah.
In Game of
I hope
Thrones.
it's not midnight, otherwise we've missed the whole evening.
So yeah, we chat now. You know, we know each other's families and just general chat about life. But then he introduced me. So I bought a few other games from him as well, and eventually he introduced me to some of the Super Mint reconditioned stuff that he does.
So tell us about Super Mint. What's Super Mint?
So I like to think of it as better than when it came out of the factory, essentially. I'll buy a game and send it up to him, or he'll find it and let me know. We will, or he will, because the guy's extremely good at what he does. Very, very good. Strip it down, everything off the playfield. Super Mints, we tend to buy a new playfield, if I'm honest. New ramps, new targets. The mechs will all get completely taken apart, cleaned. Brackets will get powder coated. We polish all the side rails, powder coat the legs. Cab gets completely stripped, filled, sanded, re-decaled, colour DMD. The whole, anything you can put into it goes into it. And I know you're going to do like a sort of spotlight on one of them.
We're going to do Whitewater.
We're going to do Whitewater, which is he's done a really special job on it. It's one of my favourite games. So once I discovered the Super Mints, and it started off, I just got a couple, but then it makes everything else in the line of Bally Williams not to the same standard. So been slowly chopping some of them in and asking him to do more and more Super Mints for me. So I think my collection is sort of half Bally Williams, and I've got some of the newer stuff as well. But I must admit, I do love the older Bally Williams stuff. It's nostalgia for me. I remember playing them. Also, when friends come around, a lot of my friends aren't pinball people, and they can jump on Fishtails, we'll say, or Whitewater or Champion Pub, and instantly know what they're doing. It's a laugh. We're having a few beers. Flip that round to when I had Avengers. They'll play it and they'll be like, "Well,
Infinity Quest."
Infinity Quest. What am I supposed to be doing? I can get a multi-ball maybe, but I have no idea what to shoot at.
Sure.
The rules are too deep. They're too complicated. And also for me, the really complicated games, I don't have as much time as I'd like. I've got 3 children under 6, so my time is limited. It's more I can come in and have 20 minutes, half an hour, and then I've got to go and do something. Someone go to bed or whatever.
So you don't play Lord of the Rings?
Not very often, no. Maybe at a weekend every now and then. I did go through a phase recently where I did play it.
Sure.
But no, it's generally come in, jump on a game, play 20 minutes, then there's someone to put to bed, or plus, I want to spend time with my wife as well. So I grab a few games when I can. Tend to play, maybe not every night, but every other night.
Sure.
But quite a lot of the time it's quite late. It's like 10 o'clock at night, and I come in, play half an hour, and then disappear off to bed before getting up in the morning. So that's probably one of the reasons I prefer the Bally Williams. They're not as in depth, not deep game. You're going to get into an hour game, shall we say, like Hobbit was. Off the scale.
Well, just going back, because I noticed you swerved the question about what's nailed to the floor, which is sort of like, what's your favourite game? Really? No, that's not. By the way, that's not to say anything that he doesn't say is for sale. It's not.
So the Guns N' Roses is nailed to the floor because that's a bit of a dream theme for me.
Video coming up on this channel on that one, by the way.
In the Stern stuff, I love Stranger Things. I know it's a bit of a conspiracy, it seems like, on your channel that everyone's picking up Stranger Things, but I do love it.
Yes.
I've had quite a few LEs. Most of them are left, but the Stranger Things, I haven't even thought about getting rid of it. In fact, I've just bought the topper for it. It's coming at the moment. I love the game. I love the theme. A bit like Colin said, theme is important for me, especially with the newer stuff. With the newer stuff where the codes are quite deep, I have to like the theme. If I don't like the theme, I'll play it, I'll enjoy it, but it's not a keeper. The Bally stuff, Twilight Zone, absolutely love it. Whitewater, for sure. See, I can't see myself getting rid of them.
No, I can't. I thought I'd ask.
Yeah, I suppose it's being in a position where you can afford to hold on to these things. Never say never. You know, if I need money, then something goes. But let's say if everything goes well and I have my way, they're not for sale.
But it's been space more than that anyway, hasn't it? So if you do extend, then maybe like you let Congo go and different bits and pieces.
I did let Congo go.
Maybe they stay, you know.
I let Totem go fairly recently.
Didn't you? That's right. Do you know what? It's funny. I've been here for a few hours. I haven't even twigged. It's not here. Yeah.
So that was a Super Mint Totems when you were here last. Johnny Mnemonic was here.
Yes, which ended up at the show. Won Best in Show.
It did win Best in Show, yes. What else? A Getaway. A beautiful Getaway that Chris used to have as well.
That's gorgeous.
So yeah, there's been a few come and go that, like as you say, space, you can't keep everything.
You couldn't get another one in here.
I couldn't, no. I do have some, like, I don't mind tombstoning, but also I was about to contradict myself. I was going to say I don't like to keep too many tombstones, even though I will have a few more tombstones, other stuff that's coming in. But yeah, I don't mind. I'm going to perhaps make a little sort of side collection that I can bring to shows to support Phil basically and help out that way. So I don't know. This hobby is crazy.
It's crazy.
Some of my friends just think I'm bonkers, really. Like guys I grew up with, you know, they come round and they're just like, what on earth are you doing? Like, all this, you're just a big kid, basically.
Yeah.
But each to their own, you know. It keeps me out of trouble, as they say, and I enjoy it. So, and the thing is, they enjoy it when they come round and we have a few beers or a barbecue. Yeah, the laughter that you'll hear coming out of this room or out of the barbecue house where we have a load of arcades and there's things like track and field and gauntlet.
Yeah.
Everyone just instantly has fun, and that's without alcohol even. It's just,
yeah.
you know, the laughter and the fun, and even like my son loves it. So I can't see myself getting out of pinball anytime soon. No,
we are all big kids. In fact, I called someone a big kid the other day, and they said, "Excuse me,
we are.
You're at the moment. You've got a games room in your back garden, which isn't big enough. So you've stuck a pinball machine in your lounge. You've got another in your hallway. Don't call me a big kid." And I said, "All right, fair enough. Can't really argue with that." Really,
no, you can't. And do you know what? It's what keeps you young at the end of the day.
Yeah.
If you don't enjoy life, what's the point?
No, this is it. It is a crazy hobby, and I wouldn't like to diminish anybody else that does fishing or golf or anything like that. That's great. I'm sure they'll thoroughly enjoy it. But this is there's something a bit special, and I'm sure all hobbies are addictive, but I don't know. I think it's a bit different. Well, firstly, a fishing float doesn't cost you $7,000 or whatever. And also, I think once you've got the fishing float, somebody doesn't say, "Oh, there's a new fishing float out. Have you got it? Have you seen it? Have you?" She watched the reveal. She watched the stream of the new fishing float.
I don't know anything else that is. Like, pinball it's an addiction. You know, I know that we've had this banter on the forum before, but you know, how do you go from I think I'll get a pinball machine to having 5 within 6 or 7 weeks?
Yeah.
And they're not that. You can't just go down to the nearest shop and pick them up. You're going out of your way to get this stuff.
And waiting, like you say, months sometimes.
Oh yeah, so. But even I think I bought a Tales from the Crypt off the group, and that was up near Grimsby, I think. I can't remember. It was somewhere up there. And just because I was going up there, something else popped up for sale. And I said, "Oh, I'll have that as well." So I just did a trip where I went a bit past there, picked up one, and then on the way home picked up another one.
Yeah.
That's bonkers, but...
Well, it is. It's like this Godzilla thing with me. I thought, I'll get a Godzilla, but I've wanted to get a Jurassic Park back for some time.
Yeah.
So the point I get, the day before Godzilla's revealed, up on the forum, Jurassic Park, no, go away. I don't want to see it. I don't want to look at it because it's.
I think that's where we all fall down. Is there's always games. I regret selling Ghostbusters. I liked it a lot. I sort of sold it because somebody else I do regret selling it, but at the same time I sort of thought, well, it was only a Pro. And I was like, well, I'll upgrade at some point. So, and I will buy one at some point. So that's, look, I've had a lot of good games for here. Walking Dead was brilliant. There's been quite a few. Jurassic Park, Star Wars, which I know you've got at the moment. I had that as an LE, absolutely loved it. Even things like Monsters was here. It was okay. A lot of people who came round actually loved it.
You hear, I think it seems to be people that aren't into pinball.
Yeah,
don't
really
mind
liked
that
it.
at all.
But other than that, I don't know. I regret. So I had an original Williams Medieval Madness, and I regret selling that. That was a lovely one.
Would you, because obviously you got the remake, we'll take a look in a minute. Given the choice, would you have kept that and not got the remake? You'd prefer the original?
Probably yes.
But then I guess Chris would have done it all up and it would be playing like a new machine anyway.
It didn't really need anything. So I got that off someone else on the forum, a guy called Gary up in Yorkshire, and it was spot on. It was as good as you'd ever find, and played absolutely lovely. So I regret letting that go. I've actually, before I got this CGC one, I went back to the guy and said, sell it to me. I'll give you more than you gave me for it. And he just said, no, not interested. So I've had them classics, shall we say, the Medieval, the Attack from Mars, Monster Bash. Funny enough, I think that the CGC Medieval plays just as good.
Sure.
In actual fact, I like the snappy flippers on the CGC on the Medieval. Attack from Mars, I've had the original. I've also had the LE from CGC. I preferred the original. It's quite bizarre because the one I had was a player's condition, shall we say. Excuse me. The playfield was perfect, but it played unbelievable. Really, really nice. But I thought I'll upgrade. The LE, I could get my hands on an LE, so I bought it. Never really got on with it. It never played sort of what I had in my mind of what I used to be able to do on the older one. Whether that's just it's dialed in slightly different.
Slightly different. Yeah. The flippers just slightly.
Yeah, couldn't
set up.
No, just couldn't agree with it basically, and so I didn't keep that. I kept it probably 3 months, but I just didn't enjoy it. So I got rid of that. And then Monster Bash LE, I loved. I thought it was really good. I thought the CGC version was excellent. Very, very good. Played it. Let it go to get something else in and, miss it. Probably would have another one of them back. What else has been through?
Yeah, I mean, you've mentioned 4 or 5 that, but you can't have them all, and there would be, which I mean, if you still had all of those, then there'd be 4 or 5 that are here that wouldn't be here,
I'd probably be divorced. She we sort of have a rule where I don't set any up. So we got this room
in the bathroom.
Yeah, well, more that room in there. That's sort of it's a bit of a kids' playroom. It's a bit of a gym that my wife uses. And there's the barbecue house. So the deal was I have this room and the barbecue building, which I've decided to put arcades in. There used to be pinballs in there. I think there was the last time you were here.
Creature was in there, Whitewater.
Creature was in there. Oh, so Creature was here. Again, I wasn't a massive fan of Creature. So that went. I'll get the new CGC. The Cactus. Yep, I've already told Phil that I'll have an LE of them. Other than that, we just see what happens. It's Godzilla. I won't buy at the moment. Chris already knows he's going to lend me the first one he gets, so I'll get it. I'll play it, see what I think. I think people worry that like Canada will say, it's all sold out. You can't get one. You're never going to get one. It's just not true. It might be sold out, but you'll always get one.
Yeah.
You might have to wait a year or whatever, 18, whatever it'll be, but you will get one. If you really want one, you'll get one. So a bit like Mando's here at the moment. I'm really enjoying it. And I might have to invest in one of them in the future. But it'll be just waiting for an opportunity. If the space is here, if I can fit it in, I'll press the button and get it. But I'm not going to actively go looking for it. I'm really enjoying the machine. Godzilla will be the same. If I like it, we shall see.
No, well, we will see. Should we go and have a look at the games?
Yep, let's do that.
Okay, John, little look. Just going to pan around the room and just have a look at the machines. Obviously, we'll start off with Fishtails, but just have a look at what's in the room whilst we sat down talking about it as Lord of the Rings that we just discussed. Mandalorian Pro flavour there, as Cole would say. A Game of Thrones, great topper on that, by the way. Really good. And, of course, Guns N' Roses, which there will be a video available on this channel of me playing that Guns N' Roses really badly. OK, let's start with Fishtails, mate.
Yep.
A great game, yeah? I mean, talk about people coming round.
So, Fishtails wasn't really on my radar, but we went to Woolacombe a couple of years ago probably, maybe 3 years ago. And again, strategically, we said we'd have a day out somewhere else within an hour. And I suggested, let's go to Minehead. Reason being, I'd already looked up, there was an arcade in Minehead that had 10, 12 machines. And my kids like arcades anyway, although it's all that sort of ticket redemption nonsense, but...
It is now, isn't it? All the tickets, yeah.
Funny story, actually, in this arcade was my old Attack from Mars, the one that I said
it really?
Played amazingly, yeah. But all the machines in there were unloved, dirty, broken rubbers, some broken slings, put money in and you wouldn't even get a game. But Fishtails wasn't too bad, and I played it quite a bit that day. And literally, as soon as I got back, I just said to Chris, keep an eye out, I want one of them. And when one came around, he was like, do you want to do anything to it, or do you just want to just play it? And I said, no, actually, I liked it that much that I want to do everything. Let's do cab, I've got mirror back glass to go in it, but let's do the whole lot, colour DMD, everything else.
Has that got a new playfield in it?
No, this whole line, this is the only one that doesn't. And the reason is it's in pretty much perfect condition, apart from the shooter lane. It's got a little bit of wear, but the rest of it is spot on. So we didn't. Everything else has got a new playfield in this lineup, but this one we didn't. I should also say that was also the first one I got stepping up a level, shall we say, on the machines I was getting. So it might have been also Chris sort of easing me into it, because of course you buy a new playfield, it's another £1,000 plus on top of the bill. So
yeah.
But yeah, once I discovered you can put new playfields in as well, and it's absolutely perfect, then that's the road we went down.
We're looking at Twilight Zone, mate. You say your third Twilight Zone?
Yep, so I had one off Chris, his own personal machine, and that stayed here until he could find me one. Next, I actually had Colin's old one, funny enough.
Oh, did you?
The one that Colin was talking about, yeah. Again, in fantastic condition. But then this one being super mint. So Colin's one went and this one came in, and yeah, this one isn't going anywhere. It's one of my favourite games. I've got to say, I love Twilight Zone.
Yeah, and sorry, I'll just have a little spin around the playfield here. So I was just sorting out the brightness on the camera. But again, it's absolutely pristine. It's perfect. It really is. We've got the all these got Invisiglass on, John, right?
They have, apart from the Star Trek hasn't, because I only had 2 sheets of the wide body Invisiglass.
Is this when Neil did the run?
Yeah, I got 10, I think, off Neil, and I had a few sheets as well already. But I only bought 2 of the wide body, so
I need one. The camera's probably not doing the cabinets justice. You know what? I'll spin it round afterwards. I'll edit some footage in. Whilst you were putting the kids to bed, I had a sneaky game. Well, I say sneaky. You said play as many games you want, but I had to go and I actually made a video on this. Great game, immaculate condition. I mean, it really is.
So this one has had the complete strip down, new playfield, everything that can be taken apart, cleaned, or made new in terms of new ramps. It's all done to it, absolutely everything. Cab is in perfect condition now, powder coating, polished rails, polished wife, everything is done to it. And it's the only game that my son worries about leaving. He absolutely loves it. So whether I like it or not, that can't leave. Yeah, and it's a good game as well. I know we both played it earlier on, absolutely enjoyed it. If you get a CV that's playing correctly, it's a fantastic game.
It really is. I can't... Listen, I've had a lot of surprises, particularly in your collection. First time I played Fishtails was here. And I love it. I love Fishtails. I love, obviously, Champion Pub, which was your one, so I probably should say that, the Champion Pub on this channel. It's John's.
I think CV...
And this is a similar thing, I've got to say.
So CV, the first time I played it was actually in Budapest a few years ago as well, and didn't think much of it. I thought it was okay, but it turns out it wasn't working properly, and I didn't realise it wasn't working properly until I then played it again on one of the computer games, like the PS4 game, or maybe on the phone app, I can't remember. And realised, there was actually quite a bit on there that I didn't see.
Yeah, it should be doing stuff differently. I love the way this pops out, this pop bumper comes out the playfield. You know, these things are a real treat for me because I don't know the games. I'm playing it and I get that, I get almost virgin eyes on it. I get that element of surprise, thinking, wow, okay, I didn't expect that to happen, it's
the pinball moments that we talk about.
Yeah, certainly is. And obviously, sorry, I should say, do have a look at the video. Be on the channel. I might tag it on the end of this video. The screen is inside the playfield, which really helps someone like me. This game's featured on the channel, Indiana Jones, mate.
Yep.
Beautiful, wide body.
It is.
I don't know if you can see this, by the way, here. I mean, let's hope that focuses on there. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. The metal, the armour on here, the lock bar, everything, the artwork on it, it's just stunning. It won't do it justice. I know it won't do it justice because it's just a camera and it never does. Is that mirrored?
It's a mirrored back glass,
it's beautiful. I mean, it really is. I don't know how well I can do that. It's actually hurting my camera setting arm.
It's got the pin sound in it as well, so it's got like the custom sound mix as well. Pin sound makes a huge difference to some of these,
doesn't it?
These older games.
That goes wrong a lot, doesn't it? The idle, as I understand it, not yours, but
the idle can. The idle's not too bad to fix, but the path of adventure, a few that I've played in the past, it just hasn't played right. But this one is absolutely spot on.
And I noticed you've got on a lot of them the LED DMDs rather than the LCD ones. So it's got the coloured dots on it.
Other way round. So we've got the LCD, not the LED.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, they look a bit sparkly, don't they? They're very good.
Yeah, I prefer the LCD. It's just there's nothing wrong with the other way. It's personal preference. some games actually do look better the other way. When I had Simpsons, for example, that would have suited the other type. But yeah, personal preference.
Sure. Now, I've owned one of these, and mine was in pretty damn good nick. Mine was gorgeous, I've got to say. This tops it. It really does. Obviously, Star Trek Next Generation. Sorry, I keep talking like you can see it. That's what I said at the start of the video. Don't listen to this one. Watch it. So the apron is stunning. Just stunning. And the virtual up kickers, or whatever they're called, here, they're normally a sort of brushed steel, aren't they? These are all chromed. It's gorgeous. I actually covered mine with a Borg ship, which worked, to be fair. It didn't look bad at all. And the one thing you must do on these is colour this Borg ship. I have it painted. I got a Warcraft guy to paint mine, and that's just lovely there. Got the Romulan ship, the Klingon ship. I know you're not convinced, are you, John? But it's such a great game. It really is. And this one, all the wireforms have been. You can actually tell Chris has taken this completely apart. All the wireforms are in beautiful condition. Absolutely beautiful condition. All freshly done. Really nice. You're not convinced, though, are you? With this one?
I'm trying to. I'm trying to get to grips with it, shall we say? It's the latest Super Mint that's come in here. This one was more opportunity than something I was necessarily after. It came up to Chris, Chris knew it was coming back to him, and I'll have it. As soon as you get it, send it down. So it wasn't a game that's on my list that I've got to tick off. I'm trying really hard to really like it. I think the layout's a bit different, so I'm trying to get used to the layout. But the pin itself is absolutely stunning. As I say, Chris is a bit of an artist at this stuff. It really does come at you. I don't even know if the camera's going to do it justice. We would try. It's stunning.
We'll get as many shots in as possible. That might be a good one. I need to change the ISO level on the camera. I won't spend too much time on the whitewater. Reason being, we're gonna do this. We're gonna cover this one. It's gonna have its own individual video. This one, because it's a very, very special example. So you'll have a look at, keep an eye on the channel for that video. But I mean, it's pristine. That's not John's slipper stuck under the playfield there at the back. That's actually the Bigfoot. Is that the Bigfoot rather than the Yeti?
No, that's Yeti
rather than Bigfoot. So of course it is. Of course the Yeti. Sorry. It's the abominable snowman, isn't it?
Correct.
Okay. So this is sort of like an iced white version. We'll go into all that afterwards. But it's beautiful. Really, really, really stunning. Over here, this used to live at my house. Love this game. I'm a mad Lord of the Rings fan. I probably haven't said that on the channel yet. Mad Lord of the Rings fan. I can tell you all about this. What do you want to know about Lord of the Rings? One of the best shots in pinball, certainly. That ring shot, not the hardest, not by a long shot, but very rewarding. The magnets allow it to hover in there. We'll see if we can get a bit of footage of that on there. I love this mod, the sword. Some people criticise this sword there. The sword is called Sting. It's Frodo's sword. In this it is. It was originally Bilbo Baggins' sword. Crikey, I sound a bit geeky now. But it glows when orc or goblin are near. The sword glows blue, and actually on this it's got a blue underside to it. Some people say it blocks the actual sword underneath that the ball travels along. It doesn't. A little bit, not much. This is the position you'll stand in to play. Just like that, you'd see the ball travelling around just fine. It's in exceptionally good condition. But you've had it powder coated, my friend.
I have. I had it powder coated. Had new stickers made for the apron, so that's all new.
Sure.
Went for a sort of a black with speckled gold.
Oh, my scores are on there.
Your score's still there.
Excellent.
But yeah, happy to get that back. So a bit like you, I'm a massive Tolkien fan. Yeah, I have a host of other memorabilia from Tolkien, so Lord of the Rings has to live in the collection.
Absolutely. Medieval Madness, Chicago Gaming Company. I mean, look at that for a topper. I don't know. I can't make up my mind whether that's the best one that they do, whether it's Monster Bash or whether it's Attack from Mars. I mean, they're brilliant, aren't they? They're brilliant at what they do. John spoke earlier about the snappy flippers on this. It really is. I think this is magnificent, this game. Just tell us about the upgrades on this one that make it like the Royal Edition. John, I can't remember what you said.
So yeah, it's not an actual Royal Edition. It's an old LE, and it's got the bigger screen in it, the RGB kit in it, and the topper essentially to upgrade what was the old LE before they brought out the Royal Edition.
Yeah.
It plays absolutely spot on.
It certainly does.
Why I love it.
That's the damsel, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay. Oktoberfest. Did you say you played it twice or something like that?
Yeah, I've had maybe 2 or 3 games. It's been here for a few weeks, but to be honest, I didn't set it up until yesterday. So I've had 2 games on it. It's built like a tank. It feels very, very solid as opposed to some other games that I've had. Like I had the Alice Cooper.
That wasn't solid, no.
Not for me. Not for me. This is built. Just for me, the difference in quality in terms of build. These guys have nailed it in terms of build. Jury's still out on the game. I'm not too sure. As I say, I haven't played it enough. Whether the music's going to get to me eventually or the call, I don't know. It's packed. There's a lot of stuff on it. It's got potential for me. In a collection like mine, it probably will do okay because it's not something I have to play all the time. I can see it being a bit of a hit with people who come around. Few beers.
I like
silly music.
Just noticed the key ring.
Okay. So, yeah, jury's out, but we shall see.
Actually, just on that Oktoberfest, I did played the Hot Wheels, and I thought that was really good. Pinfest, actually, again, really well built, as you say. You're enjoying the Mando?
Absolutely loving it. Yeah, really liking it. Some games you just play and the shots are where they're supposed to be for you. You just gel with the shot layout. For me, Mando is absolutely spot on. I can hit the shots. I think I was saying earlier on, I very much favour the right flipper.
You did, yeah.
And you know, there's 4 shots off the right flipper that you can nail, and you can even backhand 2 of the other side of the playfield off it as well. The Pro's a good game. I do think it lacks a few things that I think you probably want to go premium if you can. However, it's still a fantastic game. I'm really enjoying it.
There's sparkle, by the way. This is the Pro, so obviously it doesn't have this powder coating. Chris has put this powder coating.
So yeah, this is from Chris. He's lent this to me. And yeah, he's done his normal stuff, the speaker lights, all the powder coating. He didn't have time to do the inside art, so as we've done before, if he sends it down to me, I'll put it on there. It's a great game. I'm really enjoying it.
I know, yeah, I can tell you do enjoy that one. Game of Thrones, which I'm hoping might come and spend a bit of time with me at some point. I need to get a better picture of that because you can't really see it, doesn't do it justice there. That's a great topper as well. Look, I mean, I was going to say iconic soundtrack. If you liked Game of Thrones, you watched Game of Thrones and you enjoyed it, you'll enjoy this soundtrack on here. It just has that vibe, doesn't it, when you turn it on?
It does, yeah. And if you like the series, to be honest, I'm revisiting this. I used to own one, sold it, wasn't particularly keen on it. However, they've redone the code, and Chris has been saying to me for a while, you need to give it another go. You know, it's a cracking game now. So yeah, it's here. It'll be here for it'll probably be here till after Christmas, I suppose, or up to Christmas. and yeah, I'm willing to give it another. I love the theme, so.
Oh, and the
shall
armour.
see.
The armour. Sorry, I've not done the armour any justice at all there. Again, I'll probably have to edit in some better footage than this. In fact, oh well, there's no way that's going to...
Yeah, you need a much lighter than that.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll get some better footage on it. But okay, so I mean, yeah, we like that. Another atmospheric game, Stranger Things, as you said, that's not going anywhere. You've ordered the topper for it. Yeah, I mean, it's so well put together. It's got the UV kit, which is key. Let me see if I can just sneak a look behind. I shouldn't need to. It's got videos of this. There's the Demogorgon just there. It's got a projector in it, of course, this game, which is what you can see. There's a projected screen.
Yeah, so you'll also notice in the back of mine, it's got the bit of foam stuck in. Mine is one of the early LEs where I need to take it out and put the washer in. It just needs tilting forward a bit to make the shot, basically.
Absolutely. I mean, but listen, I didn't get on with this game. I found it too hard for me. I won't go. I've got videos to go up on it, and there's no point boring everybody silly with it. But atmospherically excellent, and particularly when the UV kit comes on as well. The Demogorgon shot, I love that. The way this drops down, and you can then shoot for the Demogorgon. It's great. We're going to have a couple of beers in a minute, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. We may play it.
It's on the list to play, isn't it?
It is on the list to play. And then last but not least, let me take my phone off it, actually. Guns N' Roses, which again, there will be a dedicated video on the channel to this.
So I love it. Guns N' Roses were basically one of my favourite bands growing up as a teenager in the 90s. So been to see them live, going to go and see them live again. Well, it was postponed last year, so...
Oh, was it? Oh, of course, well, that would have been, I guess. But where's it meant to be?
It's actually at the Spurs Stadium. So...
They couldn't find anywhere else, no?
Well, it suits me because I go down there anyway, so... yeah, so that's rearranged, and I'll be going to that. But, yeah, the theme, the music... Like, I have had other music pins. Had Iron Maiden, for example. I didn't like it. Yeah, the music's not for me. Whereas this, the tracks on it, 90% of them I would happily listen to. I really like the song, so it was a no-brainer buy for me.
It's a great pin. Sorry, I've just been trying to concentrate getting some footage here. You don't need to watch the video that I'll be putting out on the channel relatively soon on it. Special game, I've got to say. Special game. Different to anything I've ever played. Exhilarating, thrilling. I was knackered after I played it.
And it will get better. The code will evolve. JJP are very good at evolving the code. It's a shame what's happened with the playfield stuff. People are 100% right. You pay X amount of money for something like this. You shouldn't have to put up with it. However, my personal view is we know it's happening. They know it's happening, even though they might not be acknowledging it. You know what you're getting into. So for me, I'll buy it, I'll play it, I'll have fun with it, and if I need to put a new playfield in it in the future, then I'll put a new playfield in it. That's just the way it is.
Fair play, mate. Listen, John, thanks so much for sharing your collection with everybody. As I say, people will be thrilled to see all this. I think we'll be inundated with questions.
You're very welcome. You've been up before. You're welcome up any time.
Oh, I do appreciate it, mate. I really do. This is such a treat to be able to play these games. And you know what? I'm going to stop waffling now. I think people have seen plenty of your collection. I think it's time we play some games, mate. But listen, thanks very much.